Hey lovely people, I hope you've had a really great half term and I hope you've been looking after yourself. So today we are going to be doing a slow write. Now we've done a slow write before, so you should be familiar with it. We've done it online before together and we have done one in class as well. So just if you've forgotten what a slow write is a little piece of writing, a little paragraph of writing, and I help you step by step and scaffold you with some ideas and some guidance, and in the end you're left with a little paragraph that you've written by yourself, with the help of me, I suppose. Slow write today is going to be on a setting in Egypt, as that's our kind of new topic that we're moving on to, and we're going to use a checklist to help us tell us what features we need to include, and hopefully have a really nice little piece of writing at the end of it. Shall we get started? Shall we have a go? Fantastic, let's go. This is the picture we're going to be using to help us with our slow write today. So take a little look at it, as it's going to provide us with our content and some ideas for our write today. The first thing I'm going to show you today is our slow write checklist. So these are all the features that we're going to try and include in our writing today. We're going to try and use an opener, a subordinating conjunction, emotive language, and a simile. Our first sentence is going to include an opener. So what we're going to do is we're going to brainstorm some openers together. This will make it easier for us to write our sentence. Some examples of openers are meanwhile, first, then, before, often, although, similarly, and during. Which opener do you think you're going to choose to use in your first sentence? I'm going to choose the one during. Now I'm going to begin to write my first sentence, including an opener. During my magical camel ride, we stopped to give the camels a rest and enjoy the view of the Great Pyramids. Now, can you see that I'm using the picture to help me? I saw camels in the picture and the pyramids, so I'm using that to help me form my sentences. Now you can pause the video here and try to write your own sentence containing an opener. Our second sentence is going to contain a subordinating conjunction. Let's take a look at some examples. You could have because, although, if, until, or despite. Which one do you think you're going to use? I'm going to use the one despite. So now I'm going to write my second sentence. We continued our ride to the pyramids despite it being very hot outside. Now, a subordinating conjunction adds extra information to the main clause. So my extra bit of information in this sentence would be despite it being very hot outside. It just makes our sentence sound a little bit more interesting by using these sort of conjunctions. Now pause the video and have a go at writing your own sentence with a subordinating conjunction. Now we're moving on to our third sentence, and here we're going to use emotive language. Now, emotive language is really a choice of words that make the reader and the audience feel different emotions. For example, you could make them feel happy or scared or even sad by the words that you use in your writing. Let's take a look at some examples. We've got agony, ecstatic, cruel, vile, blessed, and eerie. If we use these words in the correct and appropriate way, we could trigger emotional reactions from our audience. I'm going to write my sentence as an example, which may help your understanding and give you some of your own ideas. The pyramids were humongous. We walked inside and it was dark and eerie. Although the pyramids were empty, I felt like I was being watched by 1,000 eyes. Now, what emotional reaction do you think I was trying to get from the audience? Yeah, I was trying to make them feel a little bit scared and a little bit tense. As you can see, I've used the adjectives dark and eerie, which helps me to describe what it might look like in the pyramid. I've also used 3 little dots, which we called ellipses. This is to build suspense. And lastly, I wrote I was being watched by 1,000 eyes. This helps to add suspense to the atmosphere I'm trying to create when using emotive language. Now pause the video and have a go at using some emotive language. You might choose to make the reader feel excited or happy, or you could try and make them feel tense and a little bit scared like me. Now for our last sentence. We're going to use a simile in this sentence. Now, a simile is where you compare something to something else to make the description more vivid and interesting. Let's go through some examples. Our first example is as fast as a cheetah. The next example is as lazy as a sloth. And lastly, we've got as graceful as a ballerina. So, as you can see, a simile is where you highlight similarities between two things using words such as or like. Now I'm going to write my sentence containing a simile. See if you can spot where the simile is. We exited the pyramids into the sun, which sparkled like a diamond. I had a drink, and then we continued with our adventure. Did you spot where the simile was? That's right, it was sparkled like a diamond. Good job. Now we've used all of the features in our checklist, so let's read our work from the top and take a look at our work together. During my magical camel ride, we stopped to give the camels a rest and enjoy the view of the Great Pyramids. We continued our ride to the pyramids despite it being very hot outside. The pyramids were humongous. We walked inside and it was dark and eerie. Although the pyramids were empty, I felt like I was being watched by 1,000 eyes. We exited the pyramids into the sun, which sparkled like a diamond. I had a drink and then we continued with our adventure. What do you think? How did yours turn out? It might be an idea now to edit and up-level your work. How you do this is grab a different colour pencil and read through your work. Check if you've maybe missed any capital letters or punctuation and you can try and make your work sound even more interesting, maybe by adding a few more adjectives. And there you have it, an edited and up-leveled slow write, which includes 4 fantastic features in. Well done at having a go at the slow write today. You did fantastic. Remember, it's really important to try and use descriptive language in your writing because it makes it sound so much more interesting. Until next time, guys. See you soon. Bye.